Hi everyone, this is Veera. So today our agenda is supplier creation in Fusion. Okay, so we'll see how to create the supplier and what are the types of suppliers and what are the mandatory setups in the mandatory setups to create the supplier and what roles are required to create the suppliers and how to import the suppliers. So you can see all the details. Okay, so let's go to our instance first. So before creating supplier, so what we need? So we need the roles. So we need the roles for the supplier. So first let me assign the roles to the my user. Okay, so how to assign the roles? So go to navigator and here you can see the tools, right? So the tools you can go to security console and here you can assign your roles to your user. So by assigning IT security manager to your user, so you can able to see the security console. So what can do security console? So IT security manager, I can create my users, I can update my users, I can create my roles and I can update my roles. Okay, and I can create the custom roles. Okay, so etc etc. So let's take my username. Okay, so this is my username. So which is already created. So let's open that username. Okay, if you see here, so I'm able to see the already which is existed roles. I already assigned the roles to my user. Okay, so we require two roles here. So one is the supplier manager and one is the supplier administrator. Okay, the supplier manager. What happened? So if you are assigning the supplier manager role to your user, what happened? It will use to manage the supplier information and upgrade supplier from your prospective supplier to spend authorized supplier. So okay, so all the supplier information you can enter by using this supplier manager. And we have one more role which is called supplier administrator. So what happens if we are assigning this one? So it's not like it's like an internal role, I can say. So all the administrating activities for the supplier we can do from this role. Okay, so we need to assign these two roles are mandatory to create the supplier. Once you assign these roles, just you can come to our home page again, setup and maintenance. Okay, so to create the supplier, who can create the supplier? So business users can create the supplier, or buyers can create the supplier, or implementation can consultant can create the supplier. So normally in the real time, what happened? The who is the buyer? Who is going to raise the requisition? He can create the supplier. Okay. So supplier here actually there are two parts here: supplier and supplier addresses and supplier side. You can create the supplier without buyer, but if you want to create the supplier side, you should be a buyer. So to create the supplier side, you have to create one buyer. So to create buyer, you should be a business user. So first we have to create the business user from our side. Okay, then we'll see how to create the buyer. So go to users. So just go to users and security here. Okay, this is not our functional implementation consultant user. This is a business users. Just go to manage business users. Okay, here you can create the business users. So just you can add button here. So I already created buyer user, right? So let's take one. So this is my agent, procurement agent I have created. Okay, just you can see the details here. So just you can enter the name. Okay, and what is the last name, first name, middle name, and what is the email address. So what are the mandatory fields you can enter that. Okay, So you have to enter the username also. So it is automatically integrated to your security console user. So, okay, so you can reset the password there. Okay, just you can noted the username, and once this agent is created, and automatically the user also create. So once the once the user is created, so you can go to security console and you can reset your password, and you can assign the roles to the this particular user. Okay, Veera underscore. So you can able to see all the information like below. Okay, so he's a which type of employee, so he's a, so you can able to list all the employees here. So he's a partner employee. Okay, whatever. And the legal name, so it's nothing but your legal entity name. Okay, so an enterprise, and this is the business unit. Okay, so is the which business unit is assigning, so you can able to see all the details. Okay, these are related to HRMS HCM information. Okay, no need to bother about that. Okay, just you can see that, because in the real time we cannot create any employee, so it's done by HCM consultants, right? So that's what I'm telling. Just you can save once you create this one, just you can save it and close. So the next one is we have to create our business user as a procurement. So go to procurement agents. So you can create from your payables also. Okay, in the procurement, just go to offer called procurement, and you can go to payables here. So you can able to see the navigation. So if you don't find any navigation here, just you can search it. Maybe sometimes you forget the what is the task name and all, then just you can go to search task, and whatever you remember you can type it. Okay, automatically. So let's go to procurement agent now. So just create the procurement agent here. So just click the add button here. So here you can give the procurement BU, business unit. Okay, so are you going to use the which procurement BU? So you can assign that. Here you can enter the your agent name. Okay, so I already created this one, right? So let's create one more, no issue. Okay, so otherwise already I created. So just taking edit button, and you will see that. Okay, so that agent name is Veera, right? So just you can search it here, and you can edit. Okay, so this is already I have created as a business user Veera dot Veera agent, right? So let's go to edit here, and we will see that. Yeah, so the procurement is which BU can understand that, and what is the agent name and everything you can do that, and what is the status. And this procurement agent, which actions are you going to perform? So you can give the all the actions. So you can read the manage requisitions, you can read the purchase orders, and you can read the negotiation, and you can do the supplier and everything. So according to that. So for right now creating supplier, this is the mandate. So you should be allowed. Okay, and this one also. So all the related to supplier, so you have to enable that. Okay. So you can do all these tasks. Okay, like functions and all. So just once you create the procurement agent, just you can save and close. So now the next step is, so before creating our supplier, so we have some prerequisite setups to create the supplier. Okay, so what are that? So go to setup and maintenance. So go to setup and maintenance here, and come to supplier. Okay, so here just you can see that B2B, business to business configuration, that one. Okay, so just go to all task here. Okay, the supplier numbering is the mandate. Okay, so if you are creating any supplier, definitely we need the some unique number. Okay, to identify the supplier, right? So this is the prerequisite setup for creating supplier. So just you can give the supplier number. So what is the starting number of the supplier? Okay, you can give. Just you can save and close. So remaining are like lookups and all, we can able to see what are these are type of, for example, you want to go to create one more supplier type, which is your custom. So you can go to for supplier type lookup and all. Okay. Are you going to create any descriptive principle for your supplier? Then you can get into that. So this, okay. So like this. So see, you can able to see all the list of suppliers. here. So if you want to create new supplier type, you can create that. So okay, so right now we're using the only existing one which is already shaded on. Okay, so I'm not going to there. So now to create the suppliers, okay, so just go to home page here. So in the real time, what happened? The supplier start from the procurement, because who can raise the requisition? The buyer can raise the requisition. Okay, right? So while raising the requisitions, you need the supplier. So to need the suppliers, he has to create the supplier. So buyer can create the supplier. Simple. So just go to suppliers here. So we're into supplier, same in buyer role. So okay, so which is the vira.emp. So here you can able to see the suppliers. Okay, just procurement and click the supplier icon. So once you come to here, okay, just go to here, manage. Okay, go to, one minute, just 1 minute. Let me see that. So I'm in which user? I don't know. Let me see. Sorry. So let me go to Vira EMP. Okay, which is my procurement agent user. Okay. So just go to home page again. Yeah, you can select. So go to suppliers. Go to task list. See, now you were able to see the create supplier and all. Before that, we were not able to see any like this task create supplier, because so the user is not a procurement agent. Okay, so you can only create manage the suppliers, but you cannot create the supplier. So let's go to create supplier now. So what is the supplier name? So you can, for example, you are going to create supplier for which is a laptop vendors. Okay, so then you can create any laptop vendors. Okay, for example, HP laptop. So he's my supplier. Okay, and what is the business relationship? So you can able to see business relationship. So here you can able to see that these are the two ways you can create the supplier. So okay, one is the prospective supplier, one is the spend authorized suppliers. So prospective supplier is nothing but is not dealing to raise any requisitions. Okay, uh, sorry, you're not dealing with any activities. So just you can use this supplier as a to raise the requisitions. Okay, and the spend authorized. So we can dealing with this PO and invoice and payments, etc. Okay, so you can do all the activities with the spend authorized suppliers. So if you have a role called supplier manager, okay, so then if you in future if you want to convert the prospective supplier to spend authorized supplier, so you can do that. Okay, so you can change that one also. So right now, how many types? Two types. One is the prospective and one is the spend authorized. So the prospective is just you can use to raise the requisitions. Okay, so for example, you raise the requisition to get the laptop configuration. Okay, so in this case, what happened? Quotations and all. So you will receive the many quotations from the different suppliers, right? So that means you are not dealing with all the suppliers. So in this case, you can raise the create a supplier as a prospective supplier. Okay, so once the quotation is finalized, then you can create as a he is a spend authorized. So like you can raise the POs and you can do the invoices, payments, and etc. So let's create supplier type as a spend authorized, and he is going to belongs to which tax organization type. So he is going to government supplier or tax which, so corporation you can take it. Okay, and the next one is which tax country. So you can select the tax country for the supplier and the tax registration number. Once you select the tax country, then automatically it will ask your tax registration number also. Okay, and this is like a tax DUNS number, digital universal numbering system. So DUNS means digital universal numbering system. So what happens, so if your supplier is at the universal level, so he's having some, definitely he's having some unique number. Okay, so in this case, if you have any DUNS number, then you can enter the DUNS number for this supplier. Just click the create button here. So a record with the value HTTP already existed. So already the supplier is there is telling. Okay. So in this to avoid the duplicate supplier. So let's take one more supplier. Okay. So I entered as a Lenovo laptop. Okay. Yeah. So if you see the supplier information here, the supplier name is there. Automatically the number is generated based on your supplier numbering configuration. Okay. And if you see the supplier structure, what is that? First, we have to create the profile, and the next one you have to create the address, and the next one is you have to create the contacts, okay, and qualifications. So this is not mandatory. The profile and address and contacts are mandatory. Okay, so let's create the supplier profile. So coming to create the supplier profile here. So if you have any alternative for this supplier, just you can enter the alternative name, and this is okay, tax organization type. And he is the which type of supplier? So is it government supplier or is it private supplier? Okay, so you can give the, is it tax authority? So is it trust? Okay, depends on the supplier type you can give. Okay, and in future if you don't want to use the supplier, then you can give the inactive date. So right now it is status as a showing as a active. So parent supplier. So for this supplier, we have any parent supplier. So main supplier. So for example, we are using Lenovo laptops for the India. Okay. So maybe they have some head of the head of office in somewhere. Okay. So maybe the supplier is the same. So you can enter that name also. It's like a parent supplier number. So creation date and creation source. So we are going to create the supplier as a manual. So that's why the source is showing as a manual. So if you have any attachments for the supplier like tax registration certificate and all, okay, for sometimes we need the TDS numbers and all, right? So in this case, if you have a, if you need any registration, then you can do the attachment for the supplier. Okay, and once you enter this organization, so alias DUNS number. Okay, so this supplier is like a one-time supplier or regular supplier. So if you are going to deal only one time, then you can enable the one-time supplier only. Okay, and customer number is nothing but our number in the in his records. Okay, so to easily identify our number, so you can enter the customer number here. And SSC, standard industry code. Okay, what is that? It is like a social security, okay, number, right? So we have, right? So the same way supplier also, what is the SSC and what is the insurance number and everything, you can enter that. Okay, and this is the just regional information. So okay, this is like a corporate profile and all. So what are the mandatory, you can enter that. Okay, the next one is so business classifications. If we are coming to business classification, so you can able to see that if you have any business classifications, so this is not mandatory, still you can try to understand. Okay, so what is the classification and all, so you can do that, see that, see schedule. So the supplier is into classify into which category, so you can able to enter the category. So is it minority one? So because of this one, what happened, they will get sometimes tax exemptions and all, right? So that's why, so we have to classify the this one. Okay, and what is the certification number and everything, you can give that. Okay, and what are the product and services is going to supply. Okay, so you can enter the all the products and suppliers. Okay, and the next one is, so what are the products category names, and you can enter that. The next one is transactions taxes. Okay, so you can enter the transaction tax and all. related information here. Okay, what is the tax registration number, what is the tax regime, so everything. So if you have anything, you can do that. So are you going to use the tax applicability, so you can that. So what is the rounding level? Okay, so are you going to use the allow the offset taxes for the supplier? You can enter all the related to your tax information. So this is income tax. Okay, so if you have any income tax information for the supplier, you can enter. And this is like a payment information, so it's like a default information for your invoice and payments. So still you can override the time of creation of your payment invoice. Okay, so what are the payment methods are you going to use this for particular supplier? So you can select that. So right now for the supplier it's seated all are showing. So we can use the seeded payment method, or if you want to create your custom payment method, so still you can create that. So as for your business requirement, so this supplier belongs to which payment method are you going to use? So you can assign that one. Okay. And after that, bank account. This is not our internal bank. This is our supplier bank. So normally, if you're going to creating the bank accounts, we have two types, right? It's normally internal bank accounts and supplier bank accounts, right? Like internal and external. Okay, internal bank accounts is nothing but our internal bank. External is a like supplier bank account or customer bank account, what. So if you are going to use the any electronic payment method, in this case what happens, so we need the internal bank account information, at the same time we need the external payment supplier bank information also. So in this case we can create the bank accounts here. So just you can create the bank accounts here. So just you can add it here and you can enter all the supplier bank details. Okay, so the which country, what is the bank name, what is the branch name, what is the bank account name, number. Okay, everything you can enter and you can save. So are you going to use the international payments? So then in this case, the same bank are you going to use the for international payments? That means which is not ever functional. So we are using different foreign currencies and all. So in this case, you can enable that. Okay. So like everything is there here. Okay, IBN number, international bank account number. Okay, everything is there. So just you can enter the all that related to. So this is our who is the owner of that. Okay, and you can able to see the owner and all. So you can able to see that. And what are the account number, which currency. Okay, and everything you can enter. So in case of you are doing any electronic wire payments, so in this case, what is the mandatory? Supplier account is the mandate. Supplier bank account is the mandate. So right now I'm not going to enter any details here. So just I'm explaining. Okay. So the next one is go to, once you create your supplier and you then go to create your addresses. Okay. Just create the supplier address here. Okay. Just add it. Supplier address is the mandatory. Okay. So this setup is mandatory. Profile is mandatory and address is the mandatory and site is the mandatory. Okay. So just you can give the address name. Normally it is like your site name. Okay, so you can treat as a site name also. Just you want to give, you can do that. Okay, so Lenovo. Okay, something. So just you can select the country of the supplier. Okay, address format you can normal. So automatically based on the country, the address format will come into picture. Okay. So you can give some address here. Okay, so just you can enter that town and all. So for example, you are going to, okay, pin code. So you can, what are the mandatory fields are there, so you can enter the mandatory. And this is the purpose of this one. So same address are you going to using ordering and remit to and RFQ and bidding, so you can enter the as per your requirement. Okay, so the here you see that the supplier is there for no payment here. Ordering is there, remit to there, and RFQ and bidding. Okay, because you are entering the supplier address at the supplier level, not at the site level. Site address is the different and supplier address is the different. It should be maybe same address also. You can use the same address, but the address purpose may be different. Okay, so just you can enter the This is like additional information for your descriptive. If you are going to use any additional information for this supplier address form, so just you can enable. So that is, and then you can able to enter here. Okay, is it fine? Just you can save and close. So once you create the supplier addresses, so created the supplier profile and you created the supplier addresses. So what is next? So if you have any contacts for this, who is going to come, no, which person we need to contact for the supplier? Okay, so you can enter the contact information for the supplier. So just you can give the person name and phone number, email, and etc. etc. Okay, just you can enter the contact information for this supplier. Simple. Okay, so you can enter number of contact one for one supplier. Okay, so you can contact this supplier. Okay, so I'm not going to enter any supplier contacts right now because it's not mandatory. And what are the qualifications you have? So you can enter the supplier qualifications and all. So okay, what is the like supplier qualifications and all? So like not qualifications, not educational qualifications like tax registration number, assessment number, so like that. Okay. And now the next one is creating sites. So we have created the supplier profile and we have created the supplier site addresses and we have some contacts. Okay. And after that, we can create the site. Suppliers are at the across the BU and sites at the within the BU. Okay. So just you can create that supplier site here. Okay. So before creating supplier, what happened? The system automatically it will go to approval for our self approve. Just you can check it in the notification here. Just wait 1 or 2 minutes. You can just submit and wait for 1 or 2 minutes. Okay. See, the internal profile change request is submitted. It contains the that require approvals. Okay. It is the self approval. Automatically it will approve. So wait for 1 or 2. So you can see in the notification window also. If you want, just you can to come to here and just click approve button here. Just wait for Yeah, so it is approved now. So you are able to see the right. So Lenovo laptop is approved. So just now we can create the supplier site. So we can create the suppliers right from the manage suppliers also. Okay. So go to manage suppliers also, you can create the supplier site. So just go to manage suppliers here. So you can create the supplier also. Otherwise, you can create from the supplier also. So just you can enter your supplier name and just click the search button. So if you have any duplicate suppliers, for example, already the supplier is existed, again still if you are entering same supplier name, then automatically the system will show the frequent suppliers intent. Okay. So this is see, someone is created already Lenovo. So right now we are going to create the Lenovo laptop. So this is our site. We are going to create the site for this supplier. Just go to site here. So you can create, just see the site here. Okay, go to edit. Just click the add button here. The most of the information which is there in the supplier, you can able to see same information in the supplier site also. Okay, so you can give the address name here. Okay, so if you want to use the same supplier address as a site address, you can create that. You can use that. So if you want to create new address also, you can. It depends on you. Okay, so this is my site name, which is your address name in the supplier. So okay, this is like inactive date and all. So you are see the pay, procurement, and purchasing. So these are the supplier level. So are you going to use the what are the activities for this supplier, so you can enable that. Okay, so what this is like a site purposes. This site are you going to use for which activities, you have to enable that. So remaining is the same, so it's like a general information. Okay, so what are the alternative supplier, site name, business information, what is the customer number. This is not nothing but our customer number, our number in his records. Okay, same information you are able to see. So are you going to use the so business to business communications, how do you want to do? So are you going to do yes or no? So you can enter all the details here. Okay. Just you can save it here and go to next tab, which is your purchasing. Okay, so it's related to your purchasing information for the supplier. So still you can override. Okay, still you can override while creating your purchasing order and etc. Okay, like requisition and all. So uh, this one just you can able to see that how do you want to communicate method and all. So hold all the new purchasing documents. Do you want to hold? Do you have any control for this supplier? Then you can enable this and you can give the whole region and all. Okay. And what is the shipping method and what are the freight terms? Okay. Free on board. What is that? So you can give all the information related to this one. And are you going to perform any self billing for the supplier? Then you can enable this one. Okay. So are you going to create debit memo from return? So which is your RTS? Return to supplier and all. Okay, so just you have to enable that. So sometimes what happens if we're not enabling this, then we cannot perform that RTS and all. So we have to be careful while doing any action. So there is one more control in supplier. You have to remember that point. Okay, not only in purchasing, procurement, and payable options, right? So the same way you can. This is related to your receiving information for the supplier. Just you can enter the receiving information. Okay, and this is for invoicing, so which is a part of your accounts payable. Okay, so you can which currency are you going to use. Okay, what is the invoice amount limit for the supplier. Okay, so you can enter what is the invoice match option. Okay, two-way. So like okay, are you going to match the invoice with your order or receipt. So based on this one, automatically it will default the information. Okay, and what is the match approval level. Okay, it's two-way, three-way, four-way. Two-way, quantity ordered, quantity billed, quantity ordered, quantity billed, quantity received, quantity ordered, quantity billed, quantity received, inspection. So okay, these are the ways. Okay, so we'll take into next one. What is the quantity tolerance and what is the amount tolerance. Okay, so depends on your requirement. So how going to use the suppliers. Okay, so you can enter all the details. what is the payment currency. Okay, so if we're not entering, also not problem, because it's not a problem, because this is just like a default information for our invoice processing, payment processing and all. So for example, I'm not entered any payment currency, still I can, no issue on that. So the currency will should be from your invoice currency. Okay. Okay, invoice currency and payment currency should be same or maybe different. That is different matter. So just, but in this case, the supplier configuration case, the payment currency is just like default information. Okay, so it's like a default information for your payment. Okay, what is the payment priority and what is the pay group? Okay, so you have to enter all the information and which payment terms are you going to use for this supplier site and all. Okay, so you can enter all the details at the supplier site only. So while creating supplier, we are not able to see all the details. So, right? So because this is for procurement invoicing and payment also. In this case, what happens? So we need to create the these two tabs also. Okay. So these are two are at this site level only. So because of this fact, this is coming. Okay, got it? Yeah, the same way. So if you're going to payment, which payment method are you going to use, etc., and what is the bank account and what are the payment attributes? Okay, so you can able to see that. So what is the payment attributes in all? So, okay, so you can able to see that all the information. Okay, for example, if you're doing any electronic payment, then in this case, what is the payment delivery methods and all these are mandatory. Okay, how do you want to create your separate remittance advice and all, so you can enter all the information here. Okay, payment certifications also the same way. So, okay, so you have to enter that. So the next one is site assignments. So are you going to use what is the client bu and what is the bill to bu and what is the ship to location. So maybe bill to and ship to location is the same. Okay, and maybe it may be different also. And are you going to the withholding tax, then in this case you have to enable the withholding tax for this supply site. Okay, and what is the liability account here? So, okay, so what is the liability account? Distribution and prepayment, distribution and bills payment, this is nothing but your account actually. Okay, so we can enter that. So here if you are seat here, if you see here, so just taking our client view. So sorry, so which is our business unit. Okay, and if you want to use the bill to is the same, you can enter that. So what is the ship to location and bill to location? Okay, so why is not disabled? Because we have one more setup for enabling withholding tax. That's why not okay. And what is the liability distribution? It's nothing but our liability account. So automatically the liability prepayment account and bills payable account. These all default from the procurement and payable options. Okay, there is a mandatory setup. So without entering liability and prepayment account, we cannot save that record, right? But here not mandatory. Okay, that means what happened while entering any invoice, there is a hierarchy. So the system first will check at the uh, supplier site level. If you're not entering any supplier site level, then it will go into next level, which is your options, right? So that's why here not mandatory. There is a mandatory in the option. So for example, I want to use the different supplier liability account for this supplier. Then I can enter my different. No, I want to use the common account for all my suppliers. Then no need to enter here. So automatically the system will take from your procurement and invoice options. Okay, what is there in the liability account, the system will take care. So if you want to use different combination for your liability, then you can go to here. The same way, prepayment account also and the bills payables. Okay, and what is the distribution set? So what are the distribution set are you going to use for this supplier? So which is not mandatory, just like a default information. Okay, so in future, if you don't want to use this supplier site, I want to create new supplier site, then in this case you can just inactive the date. And this is like a this one qualifications and all. Okay, and in future if you want to create the auto create assignments, okay, so the same assignments I want to automatically create, then you can enable this checkbox. Okay, just you can generate by using the auto create assignment. Just you can save and close. So this is the way you can create your supplier and supplier site and contacts and all. Okay, so what are the remembering what are the main points to create the supplier? So what is the prerequisite setup? So you should be business user and procurement agent and supplier numbering right? So after that, once you coming to supplier screen, there is a supplier profile and supplier address and supplier site and supplier contacts. Okay, so we have to remember this point. Okay, this is the way you can create the supplier. So just if once if the supplier is created, just you can search it. Okay, so go to manage suppliers and you can able to search it. Okay, just you can search it. So anyway, we have this one, right? So you can able to see all the details. This is the one. Okay, just you can see the site and all here. I hope everything fine. Okay, so we'll meet in the next session. So thanks for watching. Thank you.